Hello everyone, welcome back to Twisted Serenity. Thanks for clicking on my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created some beautiful rustic farmhouse spring decor. Remember, you don't have to break the bank to make beautiful decor for your home. You guys remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and turn on that bell notification to be notified when I post my next video. I really enjoyed making these projects and I hope you guys enjoyed them as well. Now sit back and relax or craft with me. Let's get started. Okay, you guys, for this first one, I have this tag sign from Dollar Tree, and they carry these all season round. But obviously this one's from Christmas time. I'm gonna just start off by cleaning it all up. I just take all that paper off and I sand it up. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, just use the bag." I like to have both sides nice and clean and finished, so that's why I do it this way. Once I'm done, I'm gonna take my celery color from Waverly Chalk Paint, and I'm going to give my tag sign 2 coats of chalk paint. Okay, you guys, so I have this little piece of scrap wood, and honestly, I think this is like leftover from a wood plank, and it's a little bit thicker, so I think it's the one from Walmart, like the wood planks from Walmart. And I paint over the piece with some black chalk paint. So I made a stencil using my Cricut, and it just says Welcome Spring, and this is kind of like reverse stencil, so instead of weeding out, the letters and stencil it on, I actually transfer all the letters on there. And I like this effect because when you paint over it, I like to make certain things look distressed, and if you paint over it this way, it does look like it gives you that distressed look. So I take my cashew and Waverly Chalk paint, and this paint was thick because I've been having this paint for a while, so I think it's time to like toss it out or try to use it up as quick as I can. Now, I don't wait for my paint to completely dry when I start weeding out my letters. It is a little bit wet because if you wait for it to dry, it's like you're really going to have to be like digging inside to get the vinyl out. So I take that out, and then I'm going to grab my little nail filer sander thing, and I love these things. You guys could get these at Dollar Tree, especially for like little projects. And I just start sanding around our little wood piece to make some of that black pop out and make it look very, very distressed. Now I grab our little tag shape, and I'm just positioning where I want to place my little wood sign that we made. And I just grab some hot glue. If you guys want like that long hold, you guys can use like the wood glue, but I swear like I'm a hot glue queen. If you guys see my videos, I'm forever making messes with hot glue and getting burns and whatever, whatnot. Now I wanted this to have like a little hanger. So what I did is I grabbed a piece of twine and I folded it in half. Like I folded it in half, and then I put it through the hole of our tag, and I just tied a knot, and that was our hanger. Now this was like a little too plain, so I have this ribbon, and this like farmhouse ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I love it. And you guys are gonna see me try to attempt to make a bow. I swear I'm no pro at bows, but I do try to like embellish some things with bows. I just made a bow and I glued it onto the top of our little tag sign, and I thought I was gonna be done there, but no. I take these little pop dot stickers and I paint them with, I believe it was just like silver or elephant chalk paint, and I want them to look like the little tag look, so I just place them on each of the 4 corners of our little sign, and that is it for this one. I love this, so quick and so simple. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, you guys, so I have this little carton of eggs that you guys could get from Dollar Tree, and this was pretty beat up, and I'm going to just take off the twine and the wrapper, and I'm going to take actually some of the eggs out. As you can see, the carton's broken, but I do try to bring it back to life. But I take these eggs out, and I'm just using my hot glue gun just to poke a little hole in it, because I am going to cut around them and try to give it like a cracked egg look. I have more of these, but long story short, I lost the key for basically my crafting area. my whole house is my crafting area, but my main crafting area where I store all my stuff, I lost the key for it, and I have to change the lock. It's a weird lock, so I have to break the door, in which I don't want to break the door. So I'm going to give one last look and one last attempt, and hopefully I find it. Keeping my fingers crossed. Wish me luck, guys. So as you guys can see, I'm just taking, once I put the hot glue in there to make that hole, I'm taking the scissors and I'm just cutting around, and then I'm going to just cut out the egg to make it look like if it was like a cracked little egg. And I do 2 eggs in half, and then I take 1 egg and I cut it in complete half and just use those 2 pieces. Now I take some Waverly Chalk Paint in the color of plaster, and I'm going to just give all of these eggs a base coat because I didn't know which direction I was going to go in painting them. I know I wanted them to be like different colors and not all the same color. And I am actually going to change. So I'm using antique parchment for that one. I painted the other one in clay pot by Folk Art, and then hazelnut by Waverly Chalk Paint. So this is where I got upset because, and I'm leaving that one with the color plaster. So my hazel from Waverly Chalk Paint, I didn't shake it enough, so it didn't get that tone. So I do go over it, which I didn't show you guys. And then my clay pot one by Folk Art, the orangey looking one, I do end up changing that one because I didn't just like the tone of it. So I did paint these, and I did speckle them just using some paint and some water on the paintbrush. Now, as I'm assembling it, that's when you guys are going to see I do change it out and paint it a different color. So I grabbed my Spanish moss, and I'm going to fill all my little slots for my my egg carton with Spanish moss because I wanted it to look like rustic is the word I'm looking for. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Rustic and very like earthy. That's kind of more very, very earthy. So I just start placing the eggs inside of my carton, and I'm going to start decorating them as well. The way I decorated these, I'm going to let you guys just watch, but I took all different things. I took like different floral stems that I had, different greenery. I had a small little mini egg, a speckled egg. I had sticks from the moss, and I just put them all in different slots, and I'll just let you guys watch. Now I just took some distressing ink, and I believe it was vintage photo, and I just went around the carton because I just love the way that the carton looked very distressed. And once I did that, that's when I decided to change it out, and that is Celery by Waverly Chalk Paint. I will link the colors of the egg in my description box. Personally, I like the celery color over the clay pot color by Folk Art. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What you guys would have stood with the clay pot or changed it out like I did. Okay, you guys, now for this one. This has to be one of my most favorite DIYs I ever created. Now, I got this little birdhouse like picture frame type thing at Dollar General last year on clearance because it was broken. It was missing like the top of like the roof, and I was scraping the paper off of this, and I'm just showing you guys it had like that sealing on it, so it was rough to take off, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't come off, and I sanded it down because I wanted this to look like very like beat up, and like if it was like outside, and the paper gave it that effect once I went over it with some paint. So I'm gonna give it 2 coats of Waverly Chalk Paint in the color plaster. And then, as always, I'm going to distress it using my Waverly Antique Wax and my Waverly Chalk Paint in the color Elephant. Just using, it's not a chippy brush, but these brushes are from Dollar Tree. The only thing I don't like these ones because the bristles do come off of them. So I prefer my ones, the ones that I use for stenciling, the red and the blue ones that I believe they have, and they have like yellow and green. I'm rambling, you guys, as always. but those are the ones I do prefer. Okay, you guys, I had to make a roof for the birdhouse and I didn't want to use popsicle sticks. So these are, I don't know if these have a name. Let me know, you guys, in the comments if these have a name. But these are basically like the outside of sticks, like the sheddings of sticks or branches, whatever you guys, branches, I should say. And these are just like the sheddings of them. And these were perfect for the look I was going for, and they were so easy to cut. So I just cut down 2 pieces to fit as the roof of our birdhouse, and I just glued them down. And I just want to take a quick second and thanks to Sweet Flower 1967 for all the support. My subscribers, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Now I just glued a little perch back in, and I am going to change it later, but I do show you guys what I do and they're not mistakes, but changes that I do. You guys won't be confused like, hey, why isn't it that way when she had it this way? So the birdhouse, I'm putting it to the side, and I have this brown little paper bag, and I'm going to make a little nest using this brown paper bag. So I'm just going to fold it down, and then I'm going to take my moss, and I'm going to show you guys, I have Spanish moss. I have this bag that I got from Walmart, and it has all different kind of mosses in it. Mosses is a word, right? Mosses. And I'm just going to start building up my little bird nest. Now, if you guys already have a bird nest, like you guys bought, because I know Hobby Lobby sells them, and Walmart sells them. Dollar Tree doesn't sell them yet. But if you guys already have one that's already built, just use that if you guys don't want to build one up. But like I said, I wanted to do it this way because I do have some of those as well, the bird nests that are already made. So you guys, like I said, it's either or, whatever you guys choose. Now I'm using hot glue. You don't have to use hot glue. I just didn't want to use Mod Podge because Mod Podge could get messy with moss. So I'm just using hot glue, and I'm taking my Spanish moss and I'm going all around the rim or the border of the brown paper bag. And I'm not going to worry about the bottom. You guys will see why I'm not going to worry about the bottom. But I start to put all the Spanish moss around, and I do put Spanish moss inside of our bird's nest as well. Now, I do take my scissors and I did trim it up a little bit because it was losing some of the moss was too long, and it was like losing the shape of a bird's nest. But I do take the moss that I did cut up, and I'm just putting that moss and reusing that moss and putting it back on the nest. So it can look nice and full, but keep its shape as well. And here I'm just pressing down, forming the nest. You don't have to press too hard. Just press it down a little bit to keep that formation going. Now I take all my different types of my mosses, like the one that were inside that bag from Walmart. I believe that bag was under $10. I don't know. I'm telling you guys, I have stuff from so long ago, and I didn't even know what the price was. Some things I didn't even know where I got it from. It's so bad. Now, I take the sticks, the little pieces of sticks that were inside the Spanish moss. And this bag of Spanish moss had so many and big ones as well. And I just start putting them in the bird's nest as well. Now, once I have my bird's nest all done, I grab a piece of scrap poster board. I'm sorry. Yeah, foam board from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take my birdhouse, and I'm going just to measure the width of it and mark it on the foam board. And then I grab my nest, and I basically I draw like the shape of the nest. And that's the shape that I want to cut out of the foam board. And then I'm going to take my spackle, and I'm going to put my spackle on my foam board to kind of make it look the same as the birdhouse and not just a piece of foam board that I'm attaching to this project. And I feel with spackle, I made projects with spackle and foam board before, and it gave it like a different effect, and it could make it look like wood at times. So once I put the spackle, and I do paint, I go over it with the paint, and I paint it with plaster, and I distress it as well to match the birdhouse. And I distress it with my antique wax and my elephant chalk paint. Okay, so we have our pieces all done. Now I'm just grabbing some hot glue, and this is on low temp since it is foam board. And I am just going to glue that piece to the front of the birdhouse and make sure it's laying flat, because this is a standing piece, which I love. I'm telling you, this is nothing yet. We're not done this yet, but I love the way this came out. And I'm just doing a little bit more hot glue just to give it that extra hold. And now since I didn't put anything under the paper bag, I'm just taking some hot glue, and I'm gonna take the bird nest and I'm gonna glue it onto our little base part. Now, while I'm laying the nest down, when I glued it down, I'm sorry, I'm just pushing it, making sure it keeps that form that I want, and making sure it's pushed back to the birdhouse itself, so it could be just all formed together and look all like one piece. Now, I'm going to start making all the decorations for the inside. Now, these branches weren't from outside. This is part of like some branches that I had for Halloween time, and they're black. I didn't obviously want black for this piece, so I just took some burnt umber and I just painted over the branches so they could look more natural. Then I had some foam Easter eggs from, I believe these are from Dollar Tree. I only had, that was styrofoam, and then the other two were like the foam. So the styrofoam one was a little beat up. That's fine. He's like the odd little duckling. Give him more character. And I gave them all different colors. I painted this one with yellow mustard from Craftsmart, and that's the paint that Craftsmart is from Michael's. I painted the pink egg with the celery color from Waverly Chalk Paint. And then I decided to keep one neutral egg. So I took the blue egg and I painted that with apple barrel. No, I'm sorry. It was cashew by Waverly Chalk Paint. Okay, you guys. So now I'm taking the branches and I'm just putting some hot glue on the tip of them. And I'm going to the left side of my birdhouse, and I just want to stick some branches in there so the branches could look like they're coming up from the bird's nest. Okay, you guys, this is how it should be looking so far, but we're not done yet. So I have these, it's just a book page, some book pages in this book. I'm always ripping it up for crafts. And I just attempted to draw butterflies. And these are two different shapes. I drew like a bigger butterfly, like the outline of a butterfly, and then a smaller butterfly. Now, once I drew them, that's basically was my kind of like my stencil. I did take more pages. I put them underneath so I could cut out multiples multiples at a time. You guys know I do ramble. I'm sorry. I do try to explain things to you guys as best as I can, but as you can see, I get tongue tied a lot. So I felt like this piece was just like all about like, making it look very rustic. So I have this piece of this berry vine, and this is just like a leftover piece I had from a project, and this was from Dollar Tree. These were originally like green, but I did paint over them white, like the berries on them. And I'm just gonna put like the pieces, like just hang them on our little nest. So I stick my eggs inside of our nest. Now I'm taking our butterflies and I'm taking my vintage photo distressing ink, and I'm going to paint on all our little butterflies with distressing ink. And I'm sorry, you guys, I work to my left. I have no idea. I'm not a lefty, but I always have that bad habit. I'm always like pushing myself to the left side. So I distress all of our butterflies, and then I am going to take some hot glue. I'm going to take two butterflies of the same size. So two small and then two big. And I'm going to put a line of hot glue down the middle. And then I am going to glue the other butterfly on top of it. And then I'm going to bend the wings upwards. So it gives it like that 3D look of the butterfly. That makes it look like the butterfly is flying. I love the way these came out. Now here we go with all our different like greenery and these. I got these from Dollar Tree. I think it's called like fall grass or something like. It's something like that. And I like those because they had like little flowers on the ends of them. And that is just some dry baby breath that I had from some roses that I got for Valentine's Day, and just like all different greenery bushes. Now I break them all up into like little stems, and I'm going to start placing them, some on the branches, some on the birdhouse. I mean, I spontaneously placed everything. Not spontaneously, randomly. You see, you guys, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Randomly place things all around the branches and the bird's nest. And then I took our butterflies, and I also glued some butterflies onto the nest and onto the branches. I love this. This has to be one of my favorite projects I've ever created. And I was going to tell you guys too, if you guys recreate this project and you guys are going to make the butterflies, make sure you guys bend those wings upwards so it could really give it that look like it's flying, like that 3D effect. Now, I wanted to put like some wording on here, but I didn't know how I was going to do it at first. So I took a piece of craft stick and I cut it, and I didn't cut it, I didn't want it to be straight. So as you guys can see, I'm cutting it down straight there. But I kind of like, I rough up the edges a little bit. And once I do that, I take it and I paint it black first. Then I transfer on the word spring onto it. So basically I'm doing like a reverse stencil again. And then I paint over it with some white paint, white chalk paint. And then I go over it very, very lightly with some elephant chalk paint, but I let some of the white pop out still. And then I take some moss color I took antique wax. I did the same thing. I still let some of the elephant and the white show through it. Then I took some moss color by Waverly Chalk Paint, and then I went over that with it. And then I weeded out the word spring, so a reverse stencil. Then I took a piece, I drilled 2 little holes in it, and I took a piece of twine, but I unraveled the twine because it was going to be too thick to fit into there. And I just double knotted it, so I made like a little hanger for it. Now, this is what I was saying about the perch. Is that what it's called, a perch? Michelle told me it was called a perch, so if I'm saying that right. And I moved it, and I took out the perch, and I moved it upwards, like up on the sign, and I just glued it there. And then I hung our little spring sign on this, and I'm telling you guys, I'm in love with the way this came out. I had so much, like, I had such amazing time creating this. I fell in love with this, and I hope you guys love it. Please let me know what you guys think of this. I know it seems like a lot of steps, but once you get into it, I mean, it's worth it. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on that bell notification to be notified when I post my next video. Always remember that I have all my links to my social media, or the ones I do have so far, in my description box. And always, always, always remember, this world could throw you twists and turns, but always make good choices. To the next one, you guys.